Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today as we announce the arrest in one of Erie's oldest cold case investigations. That is the murder in 1988 of Helen Vogt in the city of Erie. My name is Elizabeth Hers. I am the Erie County District Attorney. And before we start, allow me to introduce the rest of the members on the stage. Chief Dan Spizzarni, Deputy Chief William Marucci, Deputy Chief Rick Laura, Inspector Chris Janis, Captain Anthony Tallarico, Captain Kirk Reese from the Pennsylvania State Police, Lieutenant Mark Weindorf from the Pennsylvania State Police, Trooper Mark Olowin, Pennsylvania State Police, as well as First Assistant Jessica Rieger and Chief County Detective Mark Shaw. Yesterday, 55-year-old Jeremy Clark Brock was arrested for the murder of Helen Vogt, which occurred on July 23, 1988. Brock, the grandson of Mrs. Vogt, was taken into custody without incident at his place of employment in Travis County, Austin, Texas, at approximately 9:30 a.m. Brock was arrested by co-affiants Erie Police Detective Sergeant Craig Stoker and Trooper Todd Gilberto, who was assigned to the Criminal Investigation Assessment Unit with Pennsylvania State Police Troop E. Detective Stoker and Trooper Gilberto, who dedicated a great deal of time and effort in this case, were assisted in the arrest by members of the Austin Police Department United States Marshal Task Force and Austin Police Department Homicide Unit. Jeremy Brock has been charged with homicide, robbery, burglary, theft, and tampering. These charges are allegations against Mr. Brock, and he is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I want to take this opportunity to commend the decades of tireless work and commitment to this case by members of the City of Erie Police Department, the Pennsylvania State Police, the Erie County Detectives, Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab, and members of the District Attorney's Cold Case Investigation Team, which was created in 2014 by then District Attorney Jack Denary and Chief County Detective Mark Shaw, and we are pleased to have some of those members in the audience with us today. Helen Vogt was 76 years of age when she was brutally murdered in her home at 2812 Zimmerman Road. Mrs. Vogt and her husband had lived at their townhouse at that address since 1985. In February of 1988, Mr. Vogt passed away while they were staying at their winter home in Florida. And Helen Vogt moved back to their townhouse where she resided alone. Mr. and Mrs. Vogt had one child, Bonnie Meyer. Bonnie had two children, Jeremy and Bethany. At the time of the homicide, Jeremy Brock was 21 years of age. And at this time, I would like to introduce City of Erie Police Chief Dan Spizzarni, who will give you a summary of the case.
"34 years ago, on July 23rd, 1988, at approximately 7:15 in the morning, the Erie Police Department was called to 2812A Zimmerman Road for a possible homicide. A caller to the police department stated they observed their neighbor, Helen Vogt's 1988 Buick LeSabre, backing out of her garage and leaving at a high rate of speed. The caller ran over to the apartment and entered, where they found Helen Vogt deceased. Erie police responded to the scene and located Helen's body lying on the floor in her bedroom next to her bed. The bed was soaked in blood. Additionally, blood was observed on the floor, walls, windowsills. The dresser drawers were open and appeared ransacked. Items were thrown about the room, and no sign of forced entry was found. The assigned detectives, Detective Sergeant Dom DiPaolo and Detective James Washburn, arrived on scene and surveyed the apartment. They observed blood on the carpet leading to the bathroom, on a towel in the bathroom, and on a hamper. In the tub was a wet washcloth and some blood. It appeared as if the suspect had taken a shower to wash the blood off. Blood was also observed on the walls and banister in the stairway that connected the first and second floors. Located on the second floor living room by the couch was an open briefcase. Later, it was learned that Helen Vogt would keep money, savings bonds, and other personal paperwork in this briefcase. Next to the living room was a kitchen. Blood was located on the countertops, the windowsills above the sink, as well as on both sides of the sink. Located in a kitchen drawer were 2 knives, which were upside down compared to the other utensils in the drawer. Both knives and a 2-pronged fork appeared to have blood on them. Detectives determined several items were missing from Vogt's apartment: credit cards, a white purse, a base to a broken lamp located in the bedroom, a watch that belonged to Helen's late husband, Herbert. It was from his time on the PGA Tour. And Helen Vogt's diamond ring were all missing. An autopsy conducted on Helen's body revealed over 50 stab wounds to her hands, face, neck, chest, and her back. Helen also sustained multiple blunt force trauma to her face and head. The Allegheny County Coroner's Office ruled her death a homicide as a result of multiple traumas to her body. A witness who lived in the adjacent townhouse was interviewed, stated they had awoke approximately 11:30 p.m. and heard noises such as furniture moving, people going up and down the stairs. The neighbor also described hearing muffled sounds similar to screaming. Almost a month after the discovery of Helen being deceased, on August 21st, 1988, Helen's vehicle was located in a parking garage at 5th and Jefferson Street in Dayton, Ohio. This parking garage was located next to a Greyhound bus station. Over the course of the next year, Detectives DiPaolo and Washburn, along with other members of the Erie Police Department, continued to investigate and follow up on multiple tips and leads, which were cleared and unfounded. On September 19th, 1990, Detectives DiPaolo and Washburn executed a search warrant in Travis County, Austin, Texas, for samples of blood, saliva, hair, and complete handprints from Jeremy C. Brock, the grandson of Helen Vogt. Samples were submitted to the lab in 1990 and then again in 2022. With the advancement of forensic technology, the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab in Greensburg, PA, was able to reanalyze the previously submitted evidence and determined a partial DNA profile from the washcloth recovered in the bathroom. The DNA was consistent with a mixture of Helen Vogt and Jeremy Brock's DNA. Recent investigation also involved the forensic examination of blood samples taken from the right and left sides of the kitchen sink. According to the analysis, the DNA profile obtained from Helen Vogt matches the blood samples. A subsequent analysis of the Y chromosome of the DNA profile, consistent with mixtures that were obtained from the blood samples by the sink, the evaluation concluded that neither Jeremy Brock nor any of his paternally related male relatives could be excluded as a contributor of this DNA. Therefore, the arrest warrant was obtained charging Jeremy Brock with this homicide.
Jeremy Brock is currently being held at the Travis County Jail in Austin, Texas. He's being held on an extradition warrant. A hearing was expected to be held today regarding that warrant. We have not received any word as to whether that hearing was held or the conclusion of that hearing, but we will make sure to have that information available to you once we learn of the resolution. If anyone has any information regarding this matter, please contact Detective Sergeant Craig Stoker at 814-870-1506 or submit a tip online at erieda.org. As this has been a long and difficult journey for everyone involved, our hearts go out to Helen Vogt's family and her loved ones. And again, while the arrest is due in large part to the advancements in DNA technology, it would not have been possible but for all of the individuals that refused to give up and continue to work on this case. And I want to take this time to express my deep, sincere appreciation for their unbroken commitment to never stop advocating for justice for Helen Vogt. Now at this time, we can take a few questions. We do have the affidavits available. Yes.
What kind of goes through your mind when you think of all the men and women that have worked all these years on this case to finally have a resolution on it today?
Well, as I stated, pure appreciation at what they've done. It's so many individuals have been involved in this matter, and they have worked so well together, and they just have never given up, as I stated. So it's with gratitude, amazement at their tenacity, and just appreciation, as well as I'm sure the family is just as appreciative. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone.